Alright, you guys, what's going on? My name is Savage Beefy, and you might notice something's a little bit different here, and that is the webcam quality. It looks a little smoother this time, and that's because I did a bit of an upgrade. This one can handle like 1080p 60 FPS. My old Logitech webcam that I did my last Storytime video on decided to die right before my last Storytime. It kind of like froze up a bit. It wasn't even working during class, so I had to throw that away, I guess. But this story time here takes place in 2023, so this was like 2 years ago. And I was like working out at the rec center, and I'm like mid-set doing dips, just minding my own business. And it wasn't until shortly after that I noticed that this one guy was like walking up to a group of women that was standing nearby. And from the jump, the vibe was like kind of off. I can hear him like kind of introducing himself, talking about like how he's a senior and how he doesn't really have much friends, and then like out of nowhere he just starts talking about like the random pandemic related stuff. Like he's literally just oversharing everything to a group of strangers. And I can just see on the look on their faces, the women were clearly uncomfortable, and the interaction was just so awkward. Like immediately turned awkward. So this is where I'm going to give you guys some context. So, if you're new to this channel or new to this page, you guys might not notice, but I'm on the autism spectrum myself. So, I know that with that, social interactions can be very, very difficult, especially with interacting with people who are not on the spectrum. So, instead of judging this guy, I just felt bad for him, and I thought, maybe he was just some awkward dude, and he was just trying to make friends. And so eventually when the group of female students, like they left the room, I went up to him and I was like, hey dude, if you want to hang out or train together, you're welcome to do that. And I even decided to hype it up and just like let him know that, dude, I've been at the gym for like a good few years. If you work out with me, we can both get really jacked together. And on the same day, like I finished my workouts, then my friends came up to me looking concerned, and I was like, yo, what's up, dude? My buddies kept warning me, like, hey, there's a student who's been like hitting on like a bunch of women here and make them really uncomfortable, and just be careful. And I was like, yeah, I'll keep an eye out. And then one of my buddies ends up like pointing the finger across the gym and goes like, yeah, that's him. And it turns out like it was the exact guy that I was trying to befriend just like a few minutes ago. And I didn't want to believe them at first. I thought they were just being a fucking dickhead. Then about a week later, I see him again in the locker room. I said hi to him, like, hey, what's up, bro? How you been? I asked if he worked out that day, and he just immediately turned his back on me. He just proceeded to rush out of the locker room. Not a single response. He just walks out on me. I'm just like, oh, okay, that's kind of weird. And I was hitting legs that day. And when I saw him again, he was just like standing there. He wasn't like lifting or training or anything. He was just staring at people. Like, the dude doesn't even work out. He's like super skinny. I can tell that he doesn't work out. So he was just doing nothing but like staring at people. I didn't think anything of it at first. So I just like walked up to him and said, hey, do you want to work out together with me? I'm hitting legs. He says yes. So I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere. And so I taught him how to do Romanian deadlifts with dumbbells, because that's what I was doing at the time. I explained to him like how the movement works, what muscle groups it hits, the forms, and everything. And I gave him like a light pair of dumbbells, and he only got like 1 rep in. Just 1 rep. He then like immediately drops the dumbbell and pretends to get hurt. And I could tell he was faking it, because I've had like back injuries in the past before doing my lifts. I know that I can easily tell if someone's like faking or not. And he was clearly faking it. And he was like, it really just hurts. I'll be back like maybe the next week. And then he literally just sprints away from me. And at this point, I'm just like, okay, dude, what the fuck? Something's not right here. My friends, once again, straight up tell me, dude, you need to stop talking to this guy. He's a fucking weirdo. And yet I was still being naive. Then, like, weeks go by, months go by as well. I don't see him again. I'm just like, okay, maybe he just fell off and he just didn't want to be here again. Understandable if you're socially awkward. I mean, your social battery completely dies out, and if you're still struggling to talk with people, okay, whatever. But then it turns out apparently this guy had to be physically dragged out of the rec center by security for sexually harassing a group of women at the pool. And while the security was escorting him out, he was like crying and begging them not to get him deported or some shit like that. I know, sorry, it's kind of insane, but then it really hit me. Like, it's not that I was like wrong for trying to be kind or for like empathizing with someone who seemed like socially awkward or socially behind, because I've been there too. I used to be super awkward back in like middle school and high school. I struggled with like talking with people, and I still like feel a little bit socially awkward around people in public spaces in college too, to this day. But then the moment it crossed into like the guy being very creepy and predatory towards people, that's like when all my sympathies for this supposed poor kid just went straight out the window. And I felt so stupid after that. Like, I should have like really listened to my friends like sooner than later. I just wasted my whole time and energy trying to help someone who didn't actually want any help. He just wanted some attention, regardless of like how uncomfortable it made other people at the expense of other people. So yeah, really, like, moral of the story is like you gotta be careful with who you try to befriend. Like, it's good to be kind to others. It's good to have empathy, especially if you're also one of those people trying to make friends. But having boundaries and respecting other people's boundaries is what matters even more, no matter what mental disorders you have. So yeah, that was just something I wanted to share with you guys. Yeah, other than that, I hope you enjoyed that whole entire story. Now, right now, I'm just spending my entire winter break chilling, going out with some folks. I have a couple of friends who have done some Twitch streams, and I'm just like not like helping out necessarily. I'm just like watching them. Also been like recording my trainings and stuff, and I was just messing around at the gym, like hitting some PRs. I was experimenting on the reverse deadlifts and stuff, and that lift. I think there's a clip of it playing at the very beginning of the video of you seeing me hit a PR or 55. Like, I finally got past the 440 plateau that I hit back in July. So I'm honestly really happy about that. And hopefully, I'm not expecting a 500-pound deadlift by the end of this year. I thought I was going to be able to hit it, but then, like, somewhere around the semester, I kept getting a bunch of injuries. Like, I kept tweaking my back for some reason because my programming was so off. And then, like, I strained, like, the left side of my oblique. So that fucking sucked. I had to, like, take some weeks off. But it wasn't too bad or anything. The semester was kind of boring. I passed all my classes, thankfully. I did really good on the final exams and on the midterms, despite not being so good with studying, if I had to be quite honest with you. But I managed to get that down. I'm a little bit nervous about next semester. Not only because am I going to be taking some harder classes, especially with some of the professors with shitty reviews, but also because it's going to be my last semester at GSU. I thought I was going to graduate like next year in December, but it turns out it was actually going to be next semester. So I'm graduating earlier than I thought. And I don't know what's going to happen then. A part of me is going to like miss it because of all the friends I made. But I'm also not going to miss it because, like, class, that shit just kind of fucks you up a little bit. And, I don't know what's going to happen afterward. I mean, life goes on, of course, but, I mean, shit, dude. Whatever happens next, we'll just have to see. But we do the best we can, as always. And if you guys did enjoy the video, let me know. Let me know your thoughts on the story. And hopefully your winter break is going well too, if you're watching this video. And yeah, I will see you guys later.